Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, also known as Ethan Giles channel, also known as that guy from that one YouTube channel that I'm not really sure the name of, but when I see him I know him because he's 6'7" and can't avoid him. This isn't going to be like a very long video. This is just a short update video on what's happening with the other channel and what's gone. It's still going. We're still planning on making stuff. It's not all stopped just yet. It's just a quick update. So first update I suppose is 22nd of this month we'll be filming another podcast in an actual studio this time. So, and hopefully the camera quality will be slightly better than the last one. We hope. We all hope. But it should be good. I'm looking forward to that. And the other update was finally getting the Elgato game capture to actually work. And trust me when I say this took so long and was so tedious, and it just required me to plug in it was basically one cable that I didn't plug in properly, and that was the whole issue. And then as soon as that plugged in, oh, it's all magically working. So yeah, that happened. So hopefully we'll be bringing out videos very soon. I know we've got one video on the way. I think that's coming out Monday. I don't want to say it's coming out Monday and then it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure that's coming out Monday the 14th. I'm pretty sure. Don't count me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's when it's coming out. Yeah, so that's the quick update. I just want to talk about something, because I'm going to talk about it because why not? It's something to talk about. It's when you watch a film that's like critically acclaimed and everyone loves it, and it seems to have like the highest of all highest ratings from everyone, and it's amazing. Oh, this film's a cult classic, and it's one of those films where you watch it and you think, what is going on? What is happening in this film? Why do people like it? And the film I'm talking about is the 1976 film Taxi Driver. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Put in a comment if you've seen it, because I have now, and that's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. It was, I can see the appeal, because after we watched the Taxi Driver film, we watched a documentary on how it was made and the actors and the writers and the directors talking about it. And when they talk about it and explain it and go through all their ideas behind it and why they did certain things, etc., then it makes sense and you can understand, oh, okay, this is why people like it, because of da-da-da-da-da. But I found the documentary way more interesting than the film itself, which probably says a lot about the film to me. It's when the documentary talking about it is actually more enjoyable. I just thought once we talked about it and once the documentary explained it, it made more sense, and I understood why people liked it, and I understood why it got such high praise. But it didn't sit with me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently it's a film you have to think about, which probably explains why I didn't really get it. Because let's be honest, I don't particularly watch films. I have to be in a sort of mood, to watch films like that. You have to be in a certain mood to watch films where you have to think about it constantly, and I just wasn't in that mood, which is probably why I didn't like the film as much as other people did. But hey ho, it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't great. It wasn't unbelievably horrific. It was meh. I think you'd have to watch it. I think on the second viewing it would probably be better, seeing as I then understood what the story was trying to show and what it was trying to do. I think then it would have been a better film. But first viewing, nah. What other? Let's talk about other films I've seen recently. What other films have I seen recently? I'll tell you a film I've seen recently in the cinema that came out. Was the second Fantastic Beasts film. I think it's called Crimes of Grindelwald or something along those lines. And I quite enjoyed the original Harry Potter films. Like they weren't my favorite. Definitely wasn't my favorite film series or film genre, but I did quite enjoy it, and it was enjoyable. But and then when Fantastic Beasts came out, I enjoyed that a lot more because I don't know, it's just more up my alley. I just seem to enjoy the storyline more than actual Harry Potter itself. But I didn't enjoy the second Fantastic Beasts simply because I think it was trying to be Harry Potter rather than its own thing. Like, Fantastic Beasts, when it came out, was obviously set in the Harry Potter universe, but it was different in the way that it could ease if you took the fact that it was a Harry Potter film, like a Harry Potter universe film, out of it, it would still have made a good film, and it would have still been a really good film. It's a good standalone film, is what I'm trying to say. But with Fantastic Beasts 2, is what I'm going to call it, rather than the actual name. With Fantastic Beasts 2, it seemed to be quite confused as to what it was trying to be. It seemed to try and be too much. It drifted away from being a Fantastic Beasts film and tried to be too Harry Potter-y. If people see the film, I hope understand what I'm trying to get across. Because I think it started well. The opening segments of the film were really good. The action was very well done, and it was very entertaining and very good, and still at this point a Fantastic Beasts film. Because if I say anything, I'll try to avoid spoilers, but the opening scene has Grindelwald, the main bad guy, in it, and it's a sort of fight scene with him in it. That's all I'm going to say without getting spoilery. And that was really well made, really good, and the fact that Grindelwald was in it didn't mean it was a Harry Potter film, it meant it was a Fantastic Beasts film, because Fantastic Beasts obviously brought him in. So it was still a Fantastic Beasts film. I think where it went wrong, and where it went into more of a Harry Potter film, was when it started making... Because I know Fantastic Beasts made small references to Harry Potter, like it mentioned Dumbledore, it mentioned Hogwarts, it mentioned all of that stuff, but it wasn't a main part of the story. It was just references, which is what it did well. It didn't try to lean on Harry Potter. It just subtly mentioned Harry Potter a couple of times, but then went back to the film it's meant to be. But with Fantastic Beasts, it seemed to just be... I think the biggest problem with it turning into a more of a Harry Potter film was because of one specific character, and that specific character was, of course, Dumbledore. Spoiler, I'm pretty sure he's in the trailer, and I'm pretty sure if you haven't seen it yet, you clearly don't really want to see it, or you don't care that much about spoilers. But yeah, Dumbledore was in the film, obviously, and after that it sort of started being more and more Harry Potter, and sort of started losing the charm of what the Fantastic Beasts film, original one, was, which was its own thing, its own fantasy film set inside the Harry Potter universe, but has very little to do with actual Harry Potter. Like, for example, in the first Fantastic Beasts, when he has his suitcase getting checked at customs, he flicks a thing and it comes up with, I think it's Muggle-worthy, which Muggles are basically people that aren't magic, magical people. Sorry if I'm not using the correct terminology and anyone who's a fan of these films will be yelling at me. But that's a reference. That's not something that directly affects the film in any particular way. Like, I suppose it gets in through customs, but that's not like a big plot thing. Like, you could have done anything to get through there. But that was just, they did that scene purposely just to have that small little reference, which is fine. References are fine. It's when they actually affect the main storyline where it's a problem. Because it just seemed very confused and didn't understand. It didn't try to be its own thing. It tried to lean too heavily on Harry Potter, which was ultimately its downfall. Because I imagine, because Harry Potter's so interwoven, it's got its own lore and everything. So if you're not like up to date and uptight with all the lore and all the Harry Potter films, then the amount of characters they introduce as well just gets it confused, because there's a lot of name drops and a lot of people that you, from a Harry Potter film, you probably should get who they are. But if you haven't seen the Harry Potter films, or if like me you haven't seen them in quite a long time, you're not gonna get those name drops. Because if you have to look something up, the film clearly hasn't explained it right or done something right, and it's clearly done something wrong in order for you to have to go and look something up. The film should always be able to tell you what this thing is and help you understand what this thing is. But apart from, there were good parts of the film. The very end, the very beginning and the very end, it seems, were the best parts of the film. The big end thing that we're in like some sort of council, which reminded me of the council chamber from bloody Star Wars. And with all the blue fire. I won't say anything else if people understand the scene that I mean when I say blue fire. But that was a good scene. That was really good. The Grindelwald speech going with that was really good. That was really well done. It seemed like a film that had great acting, great actors. The actors held this film up. It's just the story behind it, the stories that the actors were trying to portray, seemed to let it down quite a bit, which was why I think it failed compared to its predecessor. But there you go. Some people would have loved it, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not claiming to be a film critic. I'm claiming to be someone who watches a film and explains what he saw. Hence why I don't imagine many people would agree with me with the whole Taxi Driver thing, because I imagine people would be like, that was an amazing film, I don't know what you're talking about, that was great. And yeah, I can understand why people like both the films. Bits of the second Fantastic Beasts film I really enjoyed. Like the beginning and the end, I really enjoyed. The name drop in it, which I won't mention, right at the end of the film, sort of fell apart because it felt a bit lackluster. It didn't really feel like a big name drop. Now I know the name that was given was a big name, but it just didn't, I don't know what it was, it just didn't feel like that big of a deal. Like the biggest part of that film was the Grindelwald speech and the big scene there. That was the biggest part of the film, not the name drop that came afterwards. That was just a bit, it feels like something they put in late on. They didn't really plan on having when they started initially making the film, but I don't know, maybe they did have it all along, they just didn't put it properly. Obviously they're going to bring out a third film because it ended on such a cliffhanger. They're going to bring out a third film. And I'm going to obviously go see it because I'm curious as to where this film actually will go. And I'm hoping it goes back to a Fantastic Beasts film and doesn't stray. I mean, it's probably too far gone now, but it doesn't stray too much into Harry Potter, because that seems to be what's held it back, is it not being its own thing and being a Harry Potter film. And trying to be a Harry Potter film. It wasn't even a good Harry Potter film if it was trying to be that. But, you know, What? Who here? What can you say? But no, that definitely wasn't the worst film I've ever seen, but wasn't the best. It was better than Taxi Driver. Let's say that. It was thoroughly more enjoyable than Taxi Driver, which was a catastrophe. But no, it feels like, going back to Taxi Driver, it feels like a film you can't really criticise because it's got such a big cast, such like everyone in it is really well known, and everyone behind the film is really well known. It just feels like one of the films where if you criticise it, you'll just get ridiculed for it because you're like, this film's a cult classic, how could you ever insult it? But yeah, I don't know, just my opinion, didn't really like it. Anyway, going back to just wrapping this up and going back to YouTube, episode, hopefully some description of an episode coming out Monday, and then hopefully either before or straight after that we'll start filming our Forza series, which Charlie has done a great intro on. We've seen the intro and it looks so good, so we're really looking forward to doing that. And yeah, so the next video to come out on here will probably be I don't want to do this because it just doesn't feel right, but it'll be some sort of vlog, ? Don't really want it to be a vlog, but it probably will end up being one, of us filming in the studio. Oh, another thing with filming in the studio, because we're filming in the studio in the afternoon, Elliot has a radio show on Radio Winchcombe from 4 till 6, and Charlie and I are going to be guests on his radio show because we're there, and we might as well stick around and do that. So we're going to be talking to each other, my god, for so long, because we're going to be doing a podcast, and then pretty much straight after that doing a radio show. So my goodness, that should be interesting, but fun. I think it'll be really fun. And yeah, I can't wait to do that. That's going to be really fun. So I'm going to wrap this up here because you don't want to listen to me talking forever, and I've been talking forever, it feels like. So I'm going to wrap this up here. It's been awesome. Like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Obviously go and subscribe to CE, keep an eye on that page because that'll be coming out very soon, next couple of days I hope. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.